Welcome to the Savage Productions YouTube channel.
Hello everyone, thanks for checking out the channel today. So today is Thanksgiving Day 2022. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And as you can see, I'm at home. The weather is nice, pretty nice out. It's about 60 degrees. No rain. We do have some rain coming in a little bit later tonight. So for now, I wanted to get out here and get this Fox body uncovered and get it cleaned up, because we have some plans for this thing. We're going to be taking it to the shop in about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. That's the plan, and we're going to get this motor dropped in this thing. So some of the upgrades we have for this, I'm going to do a little walk around, kind of show you the car. This thing still has a stock K-member in it, and we are going to be putting a UPR K-member in this thing. Oh, so for you guys that may not know, this is Justin's car, my son. He actually started this channel a few years ago, and he now lives in Colorado, so he's not really able to do much on the channel. I try to get content out on the channel as much as I can, but it's been kind of busy at the shop. But this car, as a lot of you guys may know or may not know, we have an engine for this thing. It's at the shop on the engine stand. It's a 363 dart block. It's got some good stuff in it. High RPM motor, high compression, NITROUS motor. It makes some good power, and the only thing we're waiting on right now is the transmission. We haven't really decided which transmission to put in this thing. It is a stick shift car. It's going to stay stick shift, and we got to put something in it that's going to handle 1,000 horsepower or more. Already got the clutch set up for it. We just need to get a transmission figured out which way we're going to go with this thing. So this is a street car, so he does want to drive it on the street as much as he can. So we really want an overdrive. So this thing don't really weigh that much. You know, it weighs around 3,100 pounds. It's a full interior car, and it still has AC. It's got power windows, power door locks. It does have a Flaming River manual rack in it. No power steering. That saves a little weight. It's got a 10 Soldiers 850 cert cage in it. You know, so yeah, thing is pretty sweet, and it's still in good shape. It was pretty dusty. It's been sitting out here for a while. I got it uncovered, got it all wiped down, and just kind of getting it set up to take to the shop so we can get to working on this thing. I want to go ahead and turn the camera around and do a little walk around, show you guys the car who haven't seen this car, you know, before. I've got the K-member sitting here in the box that we're going to end up putting in it, and yeah, we'll talk about a few things. So let me get this camera turned around. So it's a 93 Fox body. This paint color is called light gunmetal gray. It's really a nice color on this car. It just sets it off right. This car has black interior. It's an original black interior car, so it really goes well with this color. I want to start off on the back here. So as you can see, the sticker, Savage Productions YouTube sticker, is on there for our channel. It's got a Blankenship sticker on it. So Blankenship Tuning and Performance, the owner's Lee Blankenship. Very good tuner. One of the best Ford tuners in the country. Really good guy, and he does a lot of old school and new school tuning. He knows these Fox bodies. He was probably one of the first back in the day to tune these cars. And this car, when it had the 331 in it that we built, it's been a few years ago. He actually tuned that car. He tuned it with the 331 in it. It was an NA setup, 11-to-1 compression, It had some good stuff, good heads, good cam. It's one of our packages that we still build today. Thing with the right supporting mods, it'll make over 500 horsepower flywheel. So this particular 331 that was in this car, when we took it to Lee, he did couple baseline pulls before he tuned it, and it was putting right around 450 to the wheels. And you know, he kind of thought that he wasn't going to be able to get any more out of it, but you know, obviously we knew that wasn't going to be the case since he's such a good tuner. Once he got in there and started playing with it, he was able to make some improvements because it was still running on the stock tune, on the stock computer. You know, we just had to time it up where we wanted it, had throttle positioning sensor set where we wanted it. It was tuned on a quarter horse, and we did, Justin actually went in, figured out how to raise the rev limiter, because you know, with the combination we had, it wanted to shift around 64, 6500, and the stock computer, the rev limiter is 6250. So he was able to get in there and get the rev limiter up on it. But on the base tune, on the base pull, it made somewhere around 450 to the wheels. And when he got done tuning it, it made 470 to the wheels. It also made about 440 foot-pounds of torque at the wheels, which is pretty good for a 331. Some of the 347s that we build make more than that. They'll make about the same power, maybe a little bit more, but they make more torque. But anyway, yeah, so Lee, you know, if any of you guys ever need any Ford tuning done, Lee Blankenship Tuning and Performance in Shelbyville, Kentucky. He's very busy, he's booked out all the time, but it's worth it, let me tell you. Guy knows his stuff. Drivability was unbelievable on this car. So anyway, let me go ahead and continue on with this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and lift this hatch up. So as you can see, it's got two big NITROUS Express bottles in here. He is sponsored by NITROUS Express. We've got their complete kit. It's a Maximizer 5 kit in this thing. It's got all the sensors. It's set up. I mean, we don't have all the sensors. I mean, this particular kit can have a wheel speed sensor. It can have an angle sensor. If it detects you know, the front end coming up too high, it can pull back a little bit on the NITROUS to keep the front end down. We'll probably end up adding those later, but for now it's basically got little pressure sensors that keeps the bottle to the correct pressures that it needs to be. So but it's pretty sweet. We've already got that. We finished this up a long time ago. We got the kit in, it's all plumbed. The controller is actually tied in with the computer we're running. We're running a Megasquirt system on this thing. And yeah, as you can see, we got a UPR battery relocation kit in here. So as you guys know, this is a spare tire well under here. So what we ended up doing is we made a lightweight frame, small square tubing, lightweight frame. We actually welded it inside the spare tire well, and we still have the original let me see if I can get here. We still have the original hard cover that goes across here that would cover the spare tire, and it's a pretty neat setup. It took some time to get this done, but we got it in there. It's permanent, and we set it up to where we can actually screw these right down into the frame that we built in there, so we can always remove those if we want to. But everything is plumbed out real nice. As you can see, the cage, you know, it's got this is Tin Soldiers race cars. For any of you guys that haven't heard of them, they build some pretty badass stuff. They manufacture parts. You go check them out. Tin Soldiers race cars on YouTube. They have a nice YouTube channel that's really starting to take off. but this is a custom cage that they built. We didn't really want the bars to come back here like they normally do, mainly because of the battery tray, so they took it down right behind the seats. All the back seats are still functional. They fold down and everything is tucked up in there really nice. Let me turn the power on. So it is an original sunroof car. I don't have much room to open the door here because of this pole, but as you can see, it's power windows, power door locks, still has an airbag, still has air conditioning. Still has the back seat. You see this cage running across here. They got it tucked in there real nice so we can still use the sunroof. It's got some nice underglow lighting going on. Nice big Monster Tack shift light. We got a couple of gauges, wideband, O2, and temperature gauge there. We may add an oil pressure gauge in the center. Those two gauges actually were right here on the pillar, but we had to move them because of the cage. The cage goes down through the dash. We had to take the dash out and everything when they did this. And then, well, we had to have, all the interior was out actually, but we put everything back in. Everything's ready to go. But yeah, the dash is pretty cool. I forget which one that he put in, but it changes colors and stuff. It's pretty nice. But yeah, for now it's still running 4-lug. We are going to be changing it up. It does have a built rear end. It's a let me shut this light off here. We'll shut the power off. So it does have a welded and braced 8.8 35 spline axles. They're strange with their lightweight spool. It's got all UPR. It's got their Pro kit in the back, double adjustable upper and lower control arms. It's got their adjustable anti-roll bar. Thing does 60 foot really good. It really does. We'll leave a link in the description below on a video of this car, you know, being getting a dyno tune and at the track. It's one of the first videos actually before we even had the channel, so the video isn't the greatest quality, but you know, you'll get the picture of it. It's pretty cool. It's videos got a lot of views, and yeah, so go check that out. But anyway, the plan is on the front end of this thing, it's still got the engine cradle in it, the stock engine cradle. It does have tubular lower control arms, and it has strange 10-way adjustable struts on the front with UPR coilover kit. It's got 150-pound springs on the front, gives it a lot of transfer, a lot of lift at launch. It does have strange 10-way adjustable shocks on the back. We could upgrade down the road and go with some double adjustables. That's probably what we'll end up doing. But for now, we just plan on putting this UPR K-member in right here. So this is their chrome molly setup. We got the one with tow hooks, help keep it tied down in the trailer. It's really a sweet piece. We went with their chrome molly lower control arms. So they make them that will attach to the K-member with polyurethane or Heim joint bushings. And since this is a street car, and it doesn't, obviously it's not going to get driven a lot, but they recommend if you do any type of street driving at all to go with the polyurethane setup instead of the Heim joints. So that's what we're going to do. These are also 1 inch shorter than the factory length, and the reason for that is if you run any type of aftermarket braking system on this thing, like Strange or any lightweight racing brakes, it throws the wheel out a little further outside. So what they came out with a shorter A-arm that puts it back, the wheel back into the stock location pretty much. So I'm going to go ahead and walk around the front here and show you the rest of the car. As you can see, it's still in really good shape. It's got a few little nicks here and there from driving it on the road. We still got some of this paint for a little touch up, but overall the car is in great shape. It still looks really good. And then let me lift this hood up. All right, so the engine compartment, we got a lot of compliments on this engine compartment. When the motor is in this thing, it is a sweet looking deal. So I will throw a picture of the 331 that was in this car. Yeah, so as you can see, it looked pretty sweet with all the setup we had on it. But now it's going to be totally different. So the new motor that's going in this is 363 dart block. Pretty sweet setup. It's got some good stuff on it. So we got the motor at the shop on the engine stand. So I'm going to throw a picture up of what that motor looks like now. Okay, so that's pretty much what it looks like. Now, we got to make some changes in here. Obviously, we're going to be taking out the stock K-member, putting in the UPR setup. We're still going to be utilizing these caster camber plates. These came with the car back when he bought this car. He's had this car since high school, so he's had it for a long time. These cleaned up really good. We just continued using them. It still has you know, it's all Maximum Motorsports. We went ahead and was able to use the Strange front struts with the coilover kit from UPR. The fuel system, this is going to be changed up obviously. It's got an 8 feed and a 6 return, and we are going to be changing that out once it gets to the shop as well. We're going to be running a 10 feed and an 8 return. So we'll be removing the 6. Let me show you what fuel tank this thing's got in it. See if we can get a picture here. A little video of it. This is a sweet piece right here. It's an aluminum, fabricated aluminum fuel tank. I should say fuel cell, pretty much. It's built by a company called Behind the Bars Race Cars, and it's a direct bolt-in for Fox Body. Y'all go check them out. Behind the Bars Race Cars. That thing is sweet, man. It's got a center sump built into it with an intake pump. Supports 2,000 horsepower when it's plumbed correctly. So that's one reason that we're going to upgrade the fuel lines to a 10 and have an 8 return, just for the extra power, because this setup is going to make, you know, north of 1,000 horsepower when it's all in. As you can see, it's still running AC. That's the AC line. Still got a condenser on it. Still has an airbag module for the airbag on the steering wheel. So we did Scott Rod panels on this back when we had the engine pulled out before, years ago, when we were building the 331. So we did all these Scott Rod panels, welded them in, smoothed them, and repainted the engine bay same color as the car. looks really well. We did the wiring harness. We pretty much rebuilt the whole wiring harness from scratch to make it look good and function good. These wires that are sticking out there are for the nitrous system. So once we get the engine in, get all the plumbing done, then we'll finish that off for the nitrous kit. Still running a brake booster. For now, we are going to be changing that up because the engine's got a pretty big cam in it, and it really doesn't make enough vacuum for a brake booster. So we have a manual brake kit going on it, and that's one reason why we're going to be changing the front and rear brakes on this thing, so it will stop good with manual brakes. And these are all the electronics that was supporting the 331. 6AL2 programmable. This is a window switch, a digital window switch that you can activate and deactivate at any RPM. That was for nitrous. We never did end up running nitrous on it with the 331. So we're not going to be using this at all because the Mega Squirt and the Maximizer 5 nitrous controller will take care of all of that, but we're going to just leave it in because we didn't want to have any holes showing, and it still looks pretty cool. Yeah, so let's see, this big old hole right here is for the Anderson Motorsports power pipe. We run a 4-inch power pipe. Obviously y'all seen that in the picture. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's gonna be sweet when it rolls out, let me tell you. The paint is still in really good shape, the body's still in good shape, and we can't wait to get this thing finished up. We're gonna definitely have it ready for springtime. You know, sometime in the spring, whenever we can roll the cars out. You know, once the weather gets nice, the roads get clear, and you know, hopefully we'll have this thing ready to go, get this thing rolled out. That's the plan. So yeah, I know he's really excited about getting back on this car, working on it. You know, it's kind of tough because he lives in Colorado. Him and his wife are actually coming into town for Christmas. So they're going to be here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not sure exactly how long, but we're planning on getting this car to the shop. We'll have a lift freed up. Right now we're working on 2 lifts. We've got 2 builds going on, and we're kind of planning it to where one of the cars that we're working on will be able to get it back on the ground and get it off the lift, and then this one will go on the lift, and that way we can get this K-member in, we can get the new fuel line ran, you know, just kind of get this thing going, and then get the engine dropped in, start plumbing it. We're going to try to get as much done as we can on this thing while he's in town. We're hoping we can get the transmission by then. That's probably not going to happen, but you know, if we can get everything else done, get the engine in on this thing, then once we get the transmission, because once we get it all done, then I'll have to bring it back here. I just don't have room in the shop to keep it there. But then once we get the transmission, I can take it back to the shop, and then I can go ahead and throw the transmission in, because most likely we'd have to change the drive shaft or get it, you know, get it fitted. We've got a really expensive drive shaft that we was running on this thing. It was a custom built drive shaft. It'd handle all the power we need to throw to it. It's got 1350 U-joints on it instead of 1330s that these cars come with. It's a very strong drive shaft. So we're hoping we can use it, but I know the yoke is going to be different. So we're going to have to do something there. Hopefully the length of the drive shaft will be the same. I can just change the yoke to fit the new transmission. But we'll see once we get it in. Yeah, I know he's excited. You know, he hasn't been able to work on this thing. It's just been sitting for a while. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna get this thing in there. We're gonna start working on it. So that's gonna be really fun. I'm kind of excited to do that as well. and then that way we can have some content on the channel for this car. Oh, so I wanted to show you guys the other stickers we got on the car. Obviously, we have one of our stickers on it. It's Average Performance. And then we have a Tin Soldiers race car sticker on it. You guys be sure to go check them out. Tin Soldiers race cars. Awesome group of guys, man. They've been in business for, you know, a little while. Not too long, but definitely longer than we have. And they've done very well for themselves. They just purchased a building, and they're having it completely redone for manufacturing and for building cars and the whole deal. So that's pretty cool. Go check their channel out. They did an awesome job on this cage for us, on this thing. Also too, I wanted to show you, you know, UPR, since we're a dealer for them now, and we like to show their stuff. Well, we've always had their UPR's radiator deflector, is what that is. Normally these come with a plastic one, and we've always ran this one. It's an aluminum piece that they make, and it's pretty cool. It really helps keep the engine cool, and yeah, we put their sticker on it. A lot of people would compliment that. So yeah, that's always kind of cool. You know, they make some pretty good stuff. They've been in business a long time, so you know, we was lucky enough to become a dealer for them. And I actually purchased their Pro Street kit for my car. That's what underneath the cover here. Mine's a 2012 Pro Charged Coyote, and I've got the whole front suspension is pretty much stock. I do have a bunch of stuff off the car to make it light. The rear end is built just like this one, 35 spline, strange, double adjustable upper and lowers, but I actually have Team Z Racing upper and lower control arms and pan hard bar. But I bought them used. The pan hard bar is still in good shape, double adjustable, but the upper and lowers are just wore out. The heim joints are wore out. I don't have an anti-roll bar. So I purchased a whole pro kit from UPR for this car, and I'll show a picture of that now. So yeah, that is a pretty cool kit. They have a pro kit that's kind of track only. Then they have a Pro Street kit that you can drive on the street, and that's the one that I got. And I'm kind of excited about getting it put in, getting this thing to the shop, and you know, getting that in there. I'm not going to do it until probably springtime anyway. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got their got the bracket for the upper. It's got a couple different adjustments for bar angle, and it's got the lowers, and they're all a double adjustable heim joint. And then I've got the anti-roll bar set up for this thing. I've been dying to get an anti-roll bar set up for it. It does have strange 10-way adjustable shocks on the back, and I was going to get their UPR's K-member for the front of this, but right now they're on hold on making them. They're doing a redesign, and they're not going to have it ready till sometime next year. So in the meantime, I'm going to put some adjustable struts on this thing. It still has stock struts. So what the problem I was having is, since it has stock struts, no sway bar, I do have a BMR radiator support on it, which, you know, gets rid of all the sway bar, lightens everything up on the front end. And when I would launch it, it would lift the front end so high, and then on my first or second shift, it is a stick shift car, you know, it would dive the front end down just enough to unload the tires in the back. So I was always having issues with 60 foot, but I'm hoping with the rear suspension kit that I have now, and then I'm going to go ahead and get some adjustable struts on the front that I can keep that front end up and keep it from dropping on the shift. It should rock and roll pretty good. So I'm still running a Gen 1 unopened motor, so I'm kind of limited to the power I can throw to it, but it's, you know, it still does pretty well. The car weighs, you know, about 3,400 pounds. It's not very heavy, and I can still lighten it up by doing the K-member and putting some racing seats in it. I can get it down even more. So So anyway, yeah, I appreciate you guys checking this out. I've gone long enough, and be on the lookout for the next video. You know, well, we actually have, I got 2 Fox bodies in the shop right now that we're working on. We're doing both of them really big builds. One of them's a 306 build. We're doing a bunch of stuff to that car, and then there's another Fox body that we're doing, one of our 347 builds. It's a level 3 347 build. It's going to make north of 500 easy flywheel. It's running a Holley system on it, a Holley high ram intake. It's going to be super sweet. So we're going to get some video out of both of those builds, so definitely keep a lookout for those, and keep a lookout for this one. Once we get it in the shop, we're going to do some video on this car, and can't wait to really roll this thing out, because you know, this car kind of started it all. You know, we're kind of known for the Fox body builds. I've been building Fox bodies since the 80s. I mean, I've had a ton of Fox bodies when I was growing up, and then once, you know, we got this one out there, between this car and my car, it kind of helped the channel grow and helped the shop a lot too, you know. So we just want to get this car out and get it ready for next year, so we can kind of show it and you know, premiere it, because it'll really help the channel out, and it'll help our, you know, our shop out, obviously. So yeah, it's cool. Can't wait to get it going. So I do appreciate it checking this out today, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. You know, like the videos, leave comments, however you want to do it. And hey, I do appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to hit the notification bell too, so you get notifications when the videos come out. All right, appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.